What could bring an entire empire to its knees in just one night? Imagine the chaos. Torches lighting up a crumbling city, citizens running in panic as once mighty walls collapse around them. The sound of clashing swords and desperate cries pierce the air, while whispers of betrayal echo through shadowy corridors. By dawn, the empire that once stood as a beacon of power and wealth is no more, reduced to ruins and ashes. This is not just a tale of destruction. It is a story of human ambition, fear, and the fragility of even the most formidable civilizations. What forces could shatter an empire overnight? Was it betrayal from within, an overwhelming external attack, or the wrath of nature itself? These questions have puzzled historians for centuries, leaving behind more mysteries than answers. The empire in question was no ordinary kingdom. Its reach spanned vast territories, influencing cultures and economies across continents. Its cities boasted grand architecture, bustling marketplaces, and advancements that made it the envy of the ancient world. Rulers of this empire commanded armies that were unmatched in strength and strategies that shaped history. Yet for all its power, this empire was not invincible. Beneath the surface of its grandeur lay cracks that few could see but many would exploit. Political intrigues, external threats, and natural vulnerabilities brewed a perfect storm. The empire stood tall but precariously balanced, unaware of the catastrophe that awaited it. How did it all collapse so suddenly? How could an empire of such magnitude and influence fall in a single night? These are the questions we will explore, uncovering the events, decisions, and forces that led to one of history's most shocking downfalls. Prepare to explore the rise, fall, and enduring legacy of an empire whose story reminds us of the delicate balance between greatness and vulnerability. This is a tale of ambition and hubris, a cautionary reminder that even the mightiest can fall. Every great empire begins with a vision, and this one was no exception. Founded on fertile lands surrounded by natural defenses, this empire rose from humble beginnings. Its founders were resourceful leaders who understood the value of strategic alliances and decisive action. The empire's location, at the crossroads of major trade routes, provided it with an economic advantage, turning it into a hub of commerce and culture. The early struggles of this empire were not unlike those faced by many others. It weathered invasions, internal conflicts, and harsh natural conditions, but each challenge only strengthened its resolve. Over time, small settlements grew into bustling cities, fortified by innovative architectural designs and protected by well-trained armies. This empire's resilience and adaptability were the foundation of its meteoric rise. Key moments in its history marked the turning points of its growth. Victories in significant battles expanded its borders, while treaties with neighboring states ensured stability. The rise of charismatic leaders who inspired loyalty among their people propelled the empire into an era of unprecedented prosperity. At its peak, this empire was the epitome of power and culture. Its capital city was a marvel, with towering monuments, sprawling marketplaces, and lush gardens. Scholars from distant lands gathered in its universities, drawn by the promise of knowledge and innovation. Artists and architects created works that would stand the test of time, blending practicality with beauty. The economy flourished thanks to robust trade networks that stretched across continents. Exotic goods flowed through its ports, and its currency became the standard for trade. The empire's military, equipped with advanced weaponry and unparalleled discipline, ensured peace within its borders and dominance over its rivals. However, the empire's greatness was not merely in its material wealth. It was a beacon of cultural and intellectual advancements. Philosophers debated ideas that would shape the future, while engineers designed systems that improved the lives of ordinary citizens. This was the empire's golden age, a period when it seemed invincible, but no empire is without its flaws. Beneath the surface of prosperity, cracks began to appear. Political corruption crept into the corridors of power as ambitious leaders vied for control. The once unified administration fractured, leading to inefficiencies and mistrust. Economic strains became evident as resources were stretched thin to maintain the empire's vast territory. Tax burdens increased, and public discontent grew. External threats loomed on the horizon, as rival states and nomadic tribes watched for opportunities to exploit the empire's vulnerabilities. Despite its outward strength, the empire was teetering on the edge. These signs of trouble would soon culminate in a series of events that would test its resilience like never before. No empire falls overnight without warning signs, though they are often ignored or underestimated. In the days leading up to the catastrophic collapse, subtle yet significant events unfolded. A trusted advisor's secret meetings with a rival power went unnoticed, while whispers of dissent grew louder among the empire's people. Strategic alliances, once thought unbreakable, began to fray under the strain of internal corruption and external pressures. In the capital, there were omens, an eclipse that darkened the skies, unusual animal behavior, and cryptic warnings from the empire's seers. Yet, the rulers dismissed these as mere superstition, focusing instead on lavish celebrations to showcase their might. This overconfidence blinded them to the storm brewing on the horizon. Among the key players was a general who once stood as a pillar of loyalty, but now plotted with external enemies. A high-ranking noble's ambition to seize power from within further destabilized the empire's fragile equilibrium. These individuals, motivated by greed, fear, or a misguided sense of justice, set the stage for one of history's most dramatic downfalls. The night began like any other, with the empire's citizens going about their routines. The capital's streets buzzed with activity as merchants closed their shops and families gathered in their homes. But as darkness enveloped the city, chaos erupted. Under the cover of night, enemy forces breached the empire's defenses with the help of traitors from within. Gates once thought impenetrable swung open, and waves of attackers poured into the heart of the city. The clash of steel and cries of the wounded echoed through the narrow streets as flames consumed the skyline. Citizens, caught off guard, scrambled for safety, their terror amplified by the deafening roar of collapsing buildings. In the imperial palace, the rulers realized too late the extent of the betrayal. Guards loyal to the empire fought valiantly but were overwhelmed. The conspirators' plan unfolded with ruthless precision, leaving no room for recovery. By dawn, the once thriving capital lay in ruins, its grandeur reduced to ashes and rubble. The morning light revealed a city unrecognizable. Smoke rose from the charred remains of homes and temples, casting a pall over the devastated landscape. Survivors wandered aimlessly, their faces etched with shock and grief. The empire's leadership was decimated, its rulers either slain or captured. Across the empire, news of the fall spread rapidly, plunging other cities into panic. Loyalist forces scrambled to mount a defense, but without central leadership, their efforts were disorganized and futile. Rival states and opportunistic factions seized the moment to claim territories, further dismantling what remained of the once great empire. The emotional toll was immense. For the common people, the collapse meant not only the loss of their homes, but also the destruction of their identity and pride. Scholars lamented the loss of invaluable knowledge stored in the empire's libraries, while artisans mourned the destruction of cultural treasures. The fall of the empire was not just a political event. It was a profound human tragedy that reshaped the course of history. The fall of any great empire often begins from within. Political corruption seeped into the highest levels of leadership, eroding the trust and efficiency that once defined the empire. Ambitious officials sought personal power, forming factions that undermined central authority. Decisions were no longer made for the good of the empire, but to serve the interests of a select few. Economic mismanagement compounded these issues. To fund grandiose projects and sustain a sprawling military, Taxes were raised to unbearable levels. Farmers abandoned their fields, artisans closed their workshops, and merchants fled to neighboring states with fewer restrictions. The lifeblood of the empire, its economy, began to stagnate. Leadership failures were perhaps the most significant contributors to the internal collapse. Incompetent rulers, who prioritized luxury over governance, alienated the populace. Repeated policy failures, such as poorly planned wars and botched reforms, further weakened the empire's foundation. Evidence from ancient records points to widespread dissatisfaction, with uprisings breaking out in key provinces. The cracks in the empire's unity grew wider with every passing year, paving the way for its ultimate downfall. While internal decay laid the groundwork, external threats delivered the final blows. The empire's neighbors, once allies or subdued foes, began to take advantage of its weakened state. Rival kingdoms and nomadic tribes launched coordinated attacks on border territories, stretching the empire's defenses thin. Historical accounts describe devastating invasions by a coalition of enemies. These invaders were not just opportunists, but well-organized forces, equipped with superior tactics and weaponry. Frontier towns fell one by one, and refugees flooded the capital with tales of destruction. The empire's military, once its greatest strength, struggled to adapt. Overextended supply lines, outdated strategies, and dwindling morale turned battles into massacres. Even when reinforcements were sent, they arrived too late to prevent the relentless onslaught. The empire's reputation as an unassailable power crumbled as its enemies closed in from all sides. Historical evidence, such as battlefield remains and weaponry found near key sites, corroborates the scale and intensity of these invasions. The empire, now fractured and vulnerable, could not withstand the relentless pressure from its adversaries. Nature, indifferent to human ambition, often plays a silent yet devastating role in the collapse of civilizations. For this empire, natural disasters compounded the challenges posed by internal and external factors. Archaeological findings reveal evidence of severe droughts that ravaged agricultural lands, leading to widespread famine. Rivers that once irrigated fertile fields dried up, leaving the population to struggle for survival. Earthquakes added another layer of catastrophe. Ancient ruins show signs of seismic activity that destroyed infrastructure and left cities in disarray. The chaos created by these disasters disrupted trade routes and communication networks, isolating regions of the empire and making coordinated efforts impossible. Plagues further decimated the population. Historical records speak of mysterious illnesses that spread rapidly, leaving towns and villages deserted. The combined impact of famine, seismic destruction, and disease created a perfect storm that the empire could not weather. Scientific studies and archaeological evidence provide a clearer picture of these natural disasters. Soil analyses confirm prolonged periods of drought, while fault line research indicates significant seismic events during the empire's decline. These findings suggest that nature played a crucial role in accelerating the empire's fall. The fall of the empire was not merely a regional event. It reshaped the global landscape. Neighboring powers scrambled to fill the vacuum left behind, redrawing borders and forming new alliances. Trade routes that once coursed through the empire were disrupted, forcing merchants to seek alternative paths and creating opportunities for other civilizations to rise. Cultural shifts followed in the wake of the collapse. The empire's traditions, once dominant, began to fade, replaced by new cultural influences from surrounding regions. Yet, fragments of its legacy endured. Architecture, language, and governance structures inspired future societies, serving as a foundation for emerging states. In the immediate aftermath, chaos reigned. Rival factions fought for control, leading to a prolonged period of instability. This turbulence echoed far beyond the empire's borders, influencing neighboring regions economically and politically. Over time, however, the remnants of the empire were absorbed into new powers, ensuring that its influence lived on in unexpected ways. The story of the empire's fall offers timeless lessons. Chief among them is the danger of hubris. Overconfidence in its own invincibility blinded the empire to the cracks forming within. Political infighting, economic greed, and neglect of the populace all contributed to its downfall, underscoring the need for humility and adaptability in leadership. Another critical lesson is resilience. The empire's inability to respond effectively to external threats and natural disasters highlights the importance of preparation and flexibility. Modern societies can draw parallels to this, recognizing the need for sustainable practices and robust systems to weather crises. The collapse also serves as a cautionary tale about the fragility of even the most powerful entities. It reminds us that no civilization, no matter how advanced, is immune to the forces of change. This realization prompts reflection on how current global powers can avoid repeating the mistakes of the past. The dramatic fall of the empire has captured imaginations for centuries, immortalized in art, literature, and popular culture. From epic poems to historical dramas, the story has been retold countless times, each version emphasizing different aspects of the collapse, from the heroism of its defenders to the treachery of its betrayers. In literature, the empire's fall is often portrayed as a metaphor for the dangers of unchecked ambition or the inevitability of change. In visual art, grandiose depictions of its ruins evoke both awe and melancholy, serving as a reminder of the impermanence of human achievement. Modern media has also embraced the story. Films, documentaries, and video games draw on the themes of power, betrayal, and survival, ensuring that the legacy of the empire remains alive in the collective consciousness. This enduring fascination speaks to the universal appeal of stories about rise and fall, success and failure, and the human spirit's capacity to adapt and endure. The story of the empire's rise and fall is a testament to the heights humanity can reach and the depths to which it can descend. From its humble beginnings to its golden age, the empire's achievements in culture, economy, and governance set a standard that inspired the world. Yet, its dramatic collapse in a single night serves as a powerful reminder of the fragility of even the mightiest civilizations. The catastrophic events that unfolded, whether from internal corruption, external threats, or natural disasters, reshaped history. The immediate aftermath brought chaos and uncertainty, but the empire's legacy endured through its influence on future generations. Its story is not just one of loss, but also of lessons learned, both in what it achieved and in how it fell. Could such a collapse happen again in our modern world? This is the question that lingers as we look back on the empire's story. History has shown time and again that complacency, overconfidence, and ignoring warning signs can lead to disaster. Are today's global powers any different? Are we prepared to learn from the past, or are we destined to repeat it? The empire's fall also highlights the resilience of the human spirit. Despite the destruction, its people's contributions to art, governance, and culture endured. This duality, the capacity for greatness and the inevitability of decline, is a reflection of human nature itself. As we reflect on this story, we are reminded of the importance of vigilance, adaptability, and humility. The past speaks to us not to predict the future, but to guide us toward better choices. The legacy of this empire challenges us to strive for greatness while being mindful of the lessons history has to offer. What do you think caused the fall of this empire? Was it a perfect storm of factors, or could one element have changed its fate? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this journey through history's greatest mysteries, don't forget to subscribe to Whispered Eras. Together, we'll continue to uncover the secrets of the past and explore the stories that shape our present and future.